There's Sue.
Sue's got the van. She's hugging her bloody son. And Orange Cassidy's shotgun.
Go take care of them, Sue. You got some retribution for these brave young men.
Brave is right, JR. Good call.
Welcome to the War Report, everybody. I hope you successfully pre-ordered your PS5s, because I did. Hope your queens did as well. It's been a very boring week of wrestling, honestly. We're going to go over AEW, NXT, and whatever news happened between them throughout the week. And I have a very special guest, Caleb Catlin, right? It's not Caitlin, right? No.
People used to say Caitlin all the time. I just started to the game. It's all right.
Okay, yeah. I was just like, no, I'm pretty sure people say that and it's wrong, but I wanted to make sure I get it right.
And internally, I judged a little bit. Like, I think Meals said my name wrong on an article that I did. And I was like, you know what? I just got to let that one ride.
It's okay, but I got a one-up on Meals, so that's a plus in my book. Amazing writer for music and wrestling. I really enjoyed your piece about the problems in the AEW women's division, which is like something that's heavily echoed and a lot of points hit. And I think once we talk about the women's stuff on AEW, we'll talk about it a lot more. But we really, truly just came together when you wrote about the Dua Lipa album, which is probably one of my favorite albums this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It got better and better as time went on. I was like, hold on, let me be hitting something serious in this house.
Yeah, it aged very well. There's like some songs that I don't like on there, but like I like now. So just had to give it some time. We're gonna go into In the Trenches, and this is where we normally cover news. Just for the small news week that happened, NXT UK is back. We won't be covering it because it kind of just ended like hours before I got home, and I can't watch in a car. But NXT takeovers will be back on Sundays, and there will be an October pay-per-view that everybody was worried about on October 4th. I think it's gonna be Halloween Havoc. It just has to be, right? Like, there's no way it's not Halloween Havoc.
It can't be War Games. It can't be War Games. I'm not trying to see like Undisputed Era versus like Killian Dane or nothing stupid like that.
Yeah,
it has to be Halloween Havoc.
It has to be Halloween Havoc. I'm really hoping they don't do War Games this year, and I guess we'll talk about it once we get to the Gauntlet Eliminator match. But I'm hoping it's Halloween Havoc. I just think it would continue the really nice trend of just using the old school pay-per-view names. Like, it just works, and I think it would be a really missed opportunity if they don't do it. And like, it could still be Halloween Havoc with a War Games match in it. So you can always just still use the name.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that I think In Your House was a really good takeover, despite the PO being front and center. But
yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't maybe if they would be booked on the card or not. I don't necessarily think so. Well, maybe we'll get into that once we talk about NXT. Chris Jericho had some words to say about NXT and splitting up the two shows, so there isn't a Wednesday Night War. I agree with some of it, but then the other parts are just like just crazy talk. Like when he says worry about your company, we're not worried about you, as he's constantly talking about the competition while they never truly address it at all.
Okay. I agree, mostly just because like it fits better with my schedule. It gives me a reason to like watch both shows rather than just get the updates or whatever. But I mean, as far as Chris Jericho talking crazy and him saying that like, oh, we're not worried about NXT, like, bro, you wouldn't be talking so much about him if you weren't worried about it.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no reason for you to be like oppressed about what Killian Dane and Drake Maverick's up to. Like, just worry about your show and you'll have a lot better of a show. Mm-hmm. Just worrying about what your product looks like, even if not all of it's gonna hit.
And it's crazy that like whenever stuff like, or whenever there's really an article about Jericho, he's like talking about AEW, but it's primarily like whenever he talks about NXT. Like he never just talks about AEW. He always has to mention NXT, and I just don't think it's necessary. But I do agree with just switching it to Tuesday nights because both shows benefited. Even when AEW was on Thursdays, like they benefited from it. So why not? And it'll stop this silly Wednesday night war. I just think like whoever moves first is going to be you lost the war, and it was just like whatever. Nobody really cares, you know.
Listen, I've made it a point whenever I'm on Twitter, like I'm a guy who likes wrestling, but I wouldn't consider myself like amongst those wrestling fans because it's like y'all are like the only people worried about ratings in 2020. Like, why can't we just enjoy the show? It's just ratings. I don't really care about
definitely
the
don't.
demographics or nothing like that. Like, I'm here to be like, okay, is Hangman Page doing good? Is the NXT title scene all right? Cool. If not, I've got plenty of other stuff to do with my night. Like, I'm not pressed to watch either show at this point, but like, you know, I check up just to be like, okay, you know, let's like if I don't pop up in the if I pop up in like a pay-per-view or whatever, I'm not like lost.
Yeah, that same. And honestly, this week I definitely felt like, man, I really have a whole bunch of better things I want to do right now than watch wrestling. Because a lot of shows, both the shows this week were just, you know, setting up a lot of stuff, and I was just like I don't want to.
They're lucky that basketball wasn't.
Yeah, and I don't want to say like NXT for sure was just a lot of setup, and we could talk about that right now. Where starting with NXT, like William Regal's big two announcements that they have been announcing were Battle Royale for a number one contender for the women's title, which
meh.
Yeah, I'm just like I didn't think it was necessary. I thought
I'm kind of over it because the story tells itself. Like, you know, you have Rhea Ripley,
right?
The clear and obvious contender. Like it wouldn't make sense to go with someone like Dakota Kai because she just had a rub. I mean, the only person that I could think about that could maybe face her was Raquel Gonzalez. I almost forgot her name and called her Dakota Kai's bodyguard, but I guess she would make sense. But it seems to be Rhea, and then like after she loses, Rhea can go do something on SmackDown or Raw.
I agree. Like I think it should be Raquel, but then if that happens, then what the hell does Rhea Ripley do? You know, like you getting rid of Mercedes Martinez, you know, so if she got the call up or not, it's very clear that it's her. But you know, if they kind of ended that feud like quick, you know.
Yeah, I think what they could do is they could do like a stupid gimmick thing where Rhea runs in on Raquel and continues that story, and then have Io face somebody else that's random, and then eventually build up to Io and Rhea over Survivor Series weekend. No, there's no pay-per-view that month. I forget they do like the Survivor Series gimmick. You know, I guess they can build towards Io and Rhea down the line, but I think they need to just go ahead and get this match out the way.
Yeah. So with that, we also get another multi-man match. We have the Gauntlet Eliminator, which is basically just Elimination Chamber without the chamber. And I'm okay with that. I'm curious to see who will be contending for it. I definitely think that Cameron Grimes should be in it, and I think he should be in it. But we don't know all the competitors yet.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if they had like shown all the competitors, and maybe I was tripping, or if they had hadn't done it yet.
In the montage when they were doing the announcement, they did like, you know, camera cuts to a lot of the people in the men's division, but I'm not sure if they're all going to be in it because because
I don't want Bobby Fish in that.
Yeah, right.
I don't want that match at all. I don't know why they showed him.
And they showed did they show Austin Theory? Because I don't think Austin Theory should be in it because he lost twice already, so I feel like he should be out of it.
Oh no!
Like he shouldn't even contend or like be a contender for it. Timothy Thatcher is definitely. I don't think he should necessarily contend for it either, seeing that he lost to Balor and then he also lost to Damian Priest this week, and we'll get into that later. I'm very worried about Mr. Thatcher right now. We'll just have to see what Elimination Chamber match, like, who will be in it.
You mentioned Austin Theory. I just want to. I'm not sure if you were going to talk about it, but Kishida's going around just strangling pedophiles right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I think he's starting to become the biggest baby. He's starting to become the biggest baby face, like in wrestling in general. Just out there strangling motherfuckers. It's crazy.
And I'm hoping that Kushida isn't in this match, but I hope that he does get to Balor so he can have a match. Like, just something in the meantime. Well, this will have to be into the takeover. Whoever wins, this will lead into the build into the takeover. But I just feel like maybe they should wait on the Kushida thing. Like they shouldn't just like pull the trigger on it right now. But
I guess you go with Cameron Grimes.
Yeah,
he's had those matches over him, but I'm not the biggest Cameron Grimes guy like that. I'm just not.
I'm a fan. I like him, but I definitely think that Cameron Grimes should take it, and then the next contender should be Kushida. And it should kind of just be a clear shot for Kushida rather than having to do this gauntlet eliminator match.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I would go with Cameron Grimes just to get that out of the way. But I don't know, it's something about Southern Hillbilly as a gimmick that just doesn't work for me.
I think the more ridiculous as it gets, it works more and more for me. Like, ever since he really started implementing the to the moon, I've been really enjoying the whole Southern thing a lot. Because like before I didn't really care, because before it was just like he had a hat and the hat meant something to him, and I thought that was pretty boring. But like I love the cocky asshole to the moon Cameron Grimes that has like been introduced to the character. But that sets up the women's and the male division, and we get some other stuff going on, like Imperium versus Breezango, which was a really good match. I'm not gonna lie. It got really good time. I'm kind of burnt out on tag matches, just because I've probably seen like 6 in the past week because of like AEW.
Yeah, and there was some on NXT UK today too, which I was just like, okay, bro, give it. Yeah,
I'm starting to just think that I'm not just a huge fan of tag matches, so that's probably why like a lot of AEW doesn't really truly work for me. But Breezango and Imperium doesn't win it. I don't know why we even had to have this match. I thought they were going to NXT UK, and they should be on the next week's episode. But I just thought like NXT UK is coming soon, so these guys aren't going to win. But it was a really good match nonetheless.
Yeah, it definitely surprised me. But the one thought that I had in mind was, okay, they're clearly going to lose to Escobar's stable. So what's going to happen for them after that? Because I don't see anything for Fandango. And I could see something for Tyler Breeze just somewhere in the mid-card, on any brand, really. Because I'm still a big fan of that OG gimmick where he was the dickhead with the camera. But I don't know. Like, it made me think how much longer we're going to have this team together, and either of them in the company in general, because you're starting to grasp for straws as to why they should be there.
Yeah, very much so. The supposed draft is coming soon, or it's MNOs when it's actually going to happen.
Yeah,
I definitely think their championship reign is going to lead. They will be dropping it to Elgato del Fantasma. And as far as
that's the name.
Yeah, as far as what happens with Fandango or Breeze, I don't want to say I don't care, but it's just like give it to the younger guys. Like Fandango, like you don't need it, bro. Like it's cool that y'all doing this thing,
it's like,
but I think what would be next for their story is that they go back to the main roster.
They're kind of in the position that I saw B team in, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, which kind of sounds like shade now that I'm saying it out loud. But that's kind of what I see for them. Like they're probably gonna be like enhancement for for whenever the Usos come back, the New Day or the Street Profits. That's how I see it.
And I think that's okay. I think they showed that they are.
That's fine.
They showed that they're a really good tag team in NXT, and Breeze had to come down because Fandango was hurt, but they won some. They won some gold. Fandango's good and healthy. I think them going back to the main roster would be, like a good comeback story for them. And main roster needs tag teams, so why the hell not?
I think the big thing with because that'll make some wrestling fans upset. Like, oh, you only gave them like a month reign. But I think what wrestling fans really need to understand is that there has to be these people that have to lose to make other people look good. That's just the regular structure of it. You can't make everyone look good because then you're gonna have everyone who's never gonna truly transcend above the bar. They're all gonna be stuck in one crowded middle ground.
Yeah. So, and like a month reign for Breezango. Who the hell are these guys to you? They don't need no 2 month, 3 month, 300 and something days championship reign. Come on, guys.
They want the Bailey reign for
Breezango don't need that shit. For real. But we got some other pointless tag matches that happen till we get to the main event. We get Team Ninja versus Xia Li and Jessica Mea. Oh, super random tag team. I don't know.
Wait, that's seriously their name, Team Ninja?
Yes, Kaden Carter and Casey Canizaro. I thought
that was a joke. Holy shit.
Team Ninja.
I thought that was a joke. Holy shit.
No, they get called Team Ninja. If this episode of NXT was on a DVD, I would have skipped it as soon as I saw Casey Canizaro come out.
I guess it was nice to see Casey get a win, but like Team Ninja's rough. Like you can't go nowhere with Team Ninja. That's one of them like Shayna would like eat them girls.
She has
3 minutes.
She has.
And like she had, but like then there's Nia who just like straight up sits on folks, just does a big old Samoan drop, and
Casey Canizaro
match is over. That's the kind of team they are, and they gave them like legitimate time to work, which is cool. But like I don't know why I should care.
I don't care for Team Ninja, and even with Team Ninja winning here. Xia Li, who was teaming with Jessica Mea for whatever reason, she got more development out of this than anybody involved in the match. She showed a little heelish side by not, shaking her hand, shaking Casey Canizaro's hand after the match. So she might just be more intense next week and be like, I don't really need no help. Like, I'm about to, like, maybe she'll actually like come into her own and actually like rise to the top. But having this tag team match wasn't really necessary to do that.
I don't really see the end goal for her because, like, ever since she came in, she was like, all right, she's got her little presentation or whatever. But then it's like, they like half push her and make her look strong against a random, and then have her get scrubbed out by someone higher in the rankings. So it's like, what's going to be the end goal? She doesn't have.
She's like,
you've made her like I just think they'll make her like moderately strong in points and then have her get scrubbed out. It's sort of like what Dakota Kai was doing at first when she first came into the brand, where she was like getting up by Shayna all the time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of worse because she hasn't touched a microphone since she's got there.
Yeah. And I don't see her getting to the NXT champion title anytime soon. So it is what it is, and Then we get the next match, which I'm just like, oh my god, get to the finish. Like we all know how this ends. Drake Maverick, Killian Dane versus Undisputed Era ? Roger Strong and Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish and Roger Strong was just playing with this nigga until Regal said,
Bro, they got
"Hey,
a commercial.
Killian Dane, I'm paying you. You better go work." And then the match ends.
It's even wilder because they got like a commercial break and everything. I was like, bro, if y'all don't wrap this up,
like, didn't need to happen. Like it really should have been. I feel like it should have just been shorter. Like maybe Undisputed Era like plays with this dude and then, you know, get the commercial break and then like it ends like after or like 3 minutes after the commercial break or some shit. And then Drake Maverick goes to the back, goes to Killian Dane and be like, "Hey man, you were supposed to be out there, dickhead." And you know, make Dane feel bad for it. I don't know, like show some like remorse rather than whatever. I don't really like whatever dynamic they have right now where Killian Dane keeps punching him in the face or whatever. And I'm not really a big fan of having to see Killian Dane week to week. It's been bothering me. But
I hate to see it.
And I also hate to see like what they're doing with the Undisputed Era because I'm very unclear what they're doing with these guys.
I have somewhat of an idea of like where they're going, but it's this weird holding pattern where it's like, okay, I want you to go face the big hairy guy for a while we do this thing with Kyle for a bit and we have this thing with Adam for a bit, and then after the takeover, which that's probably when I think it'll explode, or maybe in the gauntlet match, you know, something like that, like tensions will start, but they'll keep going with this, you know, the big hairy man facing Roddy, and then be like, oh, you know, what happened to you guys? You guys used to beat up people with us all the time, and then, you know, they have a change of heart. They split into two different sides. I could see Adam and Kyle doing like a tag team run, maybe, but
yeah,
that's where I see it going.
The episode of Stat Guy Greg last week, shout outs to him. We both were just like, if this results in Undisputed Era getting split up and then we get Future Shock again, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish and Roger Strong, then like I'm all for it. But as of right now, it seems like Kyle will be doing single stuff. He has they tease something between him and Tommaso Ciampa, and I'm really curious how that's gonna go. But right now, they just have Bobby Fish
which
and
by the
Roger
way,
Strong just doing whatever.
By the way, with Tommaso Ciampa, is it just me, or was there some like real Blue Lives Matter energy coming from it that night?
Well, with him really turning it up on Jake Atlas.
Yeah, and then they zoomed in on his face. I was like, wait, is he twisting up his beard? He's really turning it nasty on everybody. That's gross.
Yeah.
He looked like really dusty that night. I was like, wait, he's gonna say some real racist shit.
Well, we'll see when they have the match next week, and we'll see if Kyle O'Reilly interferes or not, or you know, Tommaso Ciampa attacks Atlas after the match, and Kyle O'Reilly comes for the save. But well, we'll have to see. Balor has like it's a vignette and it's just him being cocky shit, yeah. And that's all it was. I felt like that was a waste of time. But leading up into the match with Damian Priest and Timothy Thatcher, I thought the match was really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the idea of the crazy wrestling purist guy versus Mr. Bitches. Mm-hmm. It's like a conceptual match.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I do like Thatcher getting a lot of counters and Damian Priest doing the big thing where he got off his feet and Timmy Thatcher just old school Samoa Joe'd it, just stepped to the side and then he just bust his ass. I thought that Thatcher was going to take it there. Like that would have just been the huge mistake, and then they could have just like kept the feud going, like fucking Keith Lee did with Dijak, where they were just having matches back to back to back. So I thought that was
like the
okay.
them do like a hot potato thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that was for the title, no?
Yeah, it was for the title. Like, I thought it would have been okay, but like now with Thatcher losing, I'm just like, what do you do with him? Like, he's lost 2 big matches in a row. Like, I don't want to say he's done, but I'm just like, what do you do with him right now? Because there's going to be the Gauntlet Eliminator, and I personally feel like he just shouldn't be in the match because he's lost. He already lost against Balor, and now he lost against Priest. So I'm curious, like, what they do with Thatcher going forward, and also Damian Priest. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
It's weird with Thatcher because when I saw him get signed, my immediate reaction was like, "Oh, okay, he's gonna do like the Chris Hero thing where he ends up putting over younger guys." That's what I thought, and then they like legit. They had him send Matt Riddle off to SmackDown, and then they had him like legit looking good, and I was like, oh wait, they might actually do something here, and then they're like just scrapping it, I guess. And with Priest, I mean, there's a ton of mid card guys, but there's nobody that's like, okay, like he could beat him, and that's the big thing with NXT in general. Like, there's just a bunch of guys that you don't know what to do with.
Yeah, and I'm currently lost. Like, I can't say like put this person against Priest because I don't know if they're going to be in the Gauntlet Eliminator or not. So we'll probably have to see next week, and whoever wins, then I guess we could really start speculating about who Damian Priest can face or where Thatcher goes. Like, this episode this week is a lot of setup, so it left me guessing. It left me with a lot of questions, so I guess it worked for the most part. But it was a big day yesterday just with the PS5 stuff, so I couldn't really focus on this episode of NXT like that too much. Like, during the Shotzi Blackheart and Io Shirai match, I was like trying to pre-order one as the match was going on. So I missed a lot of stuff, but I thought Shotzi Blackheart was really good in there.
Listen, man, I'm poor, so I'm kind of relying on faith here
for the pre-order.
Seeing if any of the ladies will. Yeah, I'm kind of like maybe it won't sell out, or maybe a girl will be nice enough to give me one. I can yeah. Any ladies out there, like, listen, if you give me PS5, I'll do what it takes.
Hey man, I'm a firm believer of doing whatever it takes.
You got to. I guess we got to talk about AEW.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. It's about to be it's going to be a rough ride. But something cool just happened in the past couple of hours, so I kind of want to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about MJF. He says he's going to join or form a faction, and why? You guys literally kind of did the same thing with Nyla Rose, saying that people with managers get title shots, and she's been rolling with Vicky Guerrero, and she's nowhere near the title. Don't do this with.
We haven't even seen her in weeks.
She was there last week briefly. And then she didn't show up at all this week. But yeah, don't make MJF form or join a faction. It's really pointless and stupid. And why should it matter that he has to join a faction or group to get a title shot when wins and losses are supposed to determine that for him?
Yeah, and I don't know. At this point, I kind of threw that concept to the side where it's like, all right, like whoever they want to be like ahead of the line, they'll put them in that situation. Until
they stop mentioning the rankings, I won't talk about the rankings. Like they make it feel like it's an actual concept and it is important. So I'm going to bring it up because I think it's important. And frankly, I don't think they do. But MJF is going to join a faction. Him and Wardlow have to be a group. I guess a package deal. I guess, and there's literally nobody on the AEW roster that I think should be a faction with MJF. So it is what it is.
Scary thought about MJF. So just this just popped up in my mind. I think they could probably put MJF with Tully Blanchard.
Oh Lord! I thought that too when I first watched the segment, and my immediate thought after that was, man, I sure hope that doesn't happen. Because I just think MJF works better as, you know, the lone wolf or whatever. And I don't think him and Sean Spears is going to work well together. Like, we're not big fans of Sean Spears here on the show. So, like,
nobody should be a fan of Sean Spears.
Yeah, so that might be really rough.
I'm gonna just be. We just gotta call a spade a spade. Ty Dillinger, no, you're not Sean Spears. Ty Dillinger, I need you to go on ahead and wrap this shit up. I need you to go home. You can chill with Peyton Royce and catering or whatever, but like, I don't want to see you on my television anymore. Let's just call it spade a spade. I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I'm just not a huge fan. He's just the same guy that he was in the WWE, and that is somebody that's frankly not that interesting, because we still don't know what his, like, he still has yet to have a really like cool gimmick. Cause like the 10 thing,
I think his gimmick is just like, I think his only gimmick is like, I got this shitty haircut and an old man, so give me a title shot.
Yeah, and Nyla Rose saw that and was just like, yeah, I wanna follow them. I wanna follow them in them footsteps. So whatever they do for MJF, I'm sure this is going to be a long angle where he is going to try to find somebody to join or find somebody worthy of joining. Frankly, I don't want to see it. And it wasn't during this segment, but at some point at the show, they're saying that there's going to be like a late night Dynamite on like a Thursday after inside the NBA, and Sean Spears and some dude from Dark is going to be main eventing that. And I'm just like, do you guys not know?
Hold on, bro. It was Matt Sydal. It's Matt Sydal he's supposed to be facing, formerly known as Evan Bourne, and he debuted at the pay-per-view. That's funny though that you called him just a random.
It's just, I'm just like, why? Out of all the people that you could have had main event that show, you gave it to Sean Spears. And the guy who fucking almost like, who lands right on his neck on his debut, you want to give that opportunity to them?
Bro, I think he did it on I think he tried to do that move on Will Hobbs, and Hobbs was just so fucking confused. He was like, wait, I guess I'll punch him maybe?
Insanity. Why would you not be getting the best bout machine to main event that with literally anybody? But it is what it is. But so what I really want to talk about right now is Thunder Rosa versus Ivelisse. I love Thunder Rosa. I think she is the best thing that AEW has going right now. And that's very funny because she's from NWA Power.
Yeah, it took a whole nother promotion to get that women's division cracking.
And she's getting it cracking because when she's on the show, she gets time. I can't say this. I cannot say the same for the women's champion.
That the match was like legit long, and they like put her with Ivelisse, who was like she was so bad. Like there was a spot where it was supposed to be like a rest hold, and she like didn't move her arms all for Thunder Rosa, really had to work with nothing. I was like, wow, okay. And then I went on my computer.
Yeah, and then there's a report that just came out recently from Fightful Select. Shout out to Sean Ross Sapp.
No shout out to Sean Ross Sapp. Not Sean Ross Sapp.
He made the report, so got to give credit where credit is due. The reason why Ivelisse was no selling is because, they're working real stiff, real shoot in there, and this is I guess kind of a big deal because this is the only shoot this is the first shoot in AEW, and reports say that the AEW locker room sided with Thunder Rosa on this. And I assumed that Thunder Rosa just wanted to work and Ivelisse just wanted to show that she was better than her for some reason. Will we be seeing Ivelisse in the future? I don't know.
They could maybe have her get like scrubbed out by a jobber if they want to be really cute about it. I think that would be great.
Yeah, and that would be like the first sort of like, I guess, punishment for
have her lose to like the librarian or whatever, bro. That shit would be hilarious.
If she loses to Liva Bates, I'm just like, yeah, there's something wrong here.
Listen, bro, you need to go ahead and call it curtains for your career. If you lose to Liva Bates, bro, nah, it's over for you.
Let's hang it up here. But yeah, I thought this was very funny. Just Thunder Rosa just being like one of the best things going in AEW, and somebody else who's not truly signed to AEW decided that they were bigger and better than her, or just wanted to shoot on her and no sell it. And Thunder Rosa takes being NWA Women's Champion very seriously, and I'm sure that's due to not being able to defend or represent that title for 5-6 months, due to quarantine.
Yeah.
So I think it's very funny that you win the tag team cup, kind of get nothing for it, and you might be getting the boot.
Bro, you just reminded me of something, bro. I thought that was like a fever dream. I was like, bro, that actually happened. Like,
I believe booking thinks it's the same.
On Dark?
Not even.
Oh, bro.
It didn't even.
So they did it on.
They did it on Monday, so it was completely separate from AEW Dark.
Bro, come the fuck on. That's even worse than AEW Dark. How you gonna give them a totally different day? At least on AEW Dark, there's like a few people that's like, you know what? I'm definitely interested to watch 9 squash matches in an hour. But like now you're gonna put it on a random Monday where nobody is trying to watch it. It is. Hey man,
AEW does some really funny booking that nobody truly wants to talk about. Because
it's definitely some shit I don't want to talk about on here. Like we're gonna get some fucking Jack Swagger soon, right?
I saved that for the end because I don't want to. I thought it was pointless, but
he looks like a softball coach. He needs to get out the wrestling league.
It's so weird, like just the shit that AEW does. We'll get to that as well. But the Sean Kingston family, I just call them that because they don't actually have a stable name, and it's much faster than saying everybody else's name. But
yeah,
I don't know what AEW plans on doing with this. I never got eliminated from the Royal Rumble thing. Like, didn't they do this sort of thing with well, I guess it was more of a community thing. Like they never, I think it was like, what's his name? Curtis Axel. Like he got eliminated. Well, he never got eliminated from a Royal Rumble or something. And they were just like, he's still in it. So I don't know how long they're going to run this angle because later Lance Archer is just like, hey, I don't care about you never getting eliminated. I won. So
I think,
what are you doing?
The big takeaway that I got from this segment was like the Butcher and the Blade. They got them dressing in like boat shoes and like these ugly ass Dockers. Like, why do they got like before they were like all dark and brooding? The old the one with the big ass beard. I always forget. I think he's the Butcher,
and
he's got this big ass blade. I was like, oh, he's all spooky, but now it's like, okay, he's gonna dress like a Hollister mannequin.
You know why it didn't work? You know why dressing in all black didn't work? Because they were with MJF. I forgot to mention that. They were in a faction with MJF, and now he has to form a new one. You lost your faction already. I'm on to you, Buster. But Kingston says that Butcher and the Blade need to get their house in order, and I guess that means you better win some matches, like earn your stripes and like basically earn your keep to be in this family. And what are they doing with the Kingston family? Like, are they just going to keep doing random things and then eventually clash with the Inner Circle and then lose because Chris Jericho and Jack Swagger just need to be at the top for some reason.
Because they like make yeah, and they're probably gonna give Jack Swagger the fucking win. They're probably gonna give him the pin.
Going into just questionable things that the Inner Circle is doing in the tag team division, we have Chris Jericho and Jack Swagger in a tag team match against Private Party. And I'm just like, man, this really sucks that Private Party has to get squashed here. This really sucks.
What they got to push early on, and they were like, shit, well, we're not going to give them the title. So what the fuck do we do with them? And then they just didn't do anything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're just cool with giving people half pushes and not doing anything afterwards, I guess.
Yeah. And they did it with Private Party tonight. They did it with Jungle Express tonight. I think what they're doing with the tag team division is very weird now that the Revival have the titles. But I think everybody and their mother knows that the Revival having a title, like, is just a ticking time bomb, or, you know, when they're going to have the match with the Bucks.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, if that match isn't good, we gotta start having those conversations.
Yes, we're gonna have to have a conversation.
I've been waiting to have it for a minute.
We're gonna have to have a conversation about the AEW tag team division in general. If that match doesn't work,
I mean, they pushed the wrong teams just out the gate and left LAX and Private Party in the dust, and the Lucha Brothers. I mean,
it's insane.
And now we got the Best Friends, and that's probably going to be the next. No, I'm jumping ahead too much.
No, but
I'm jumping ahead too much.
Private Party loses here. They have a good showing? Subjective, but I just don't think that Chris Jericho and Jack Hager had to win here. Like, maybe I initially thought that maybe Private Party were going to be Jericho's next pet project. Like what he did with Orange Cassidy, which the pet project only works temporarily. Now, I know everybody. We're gonna go into another tag match, but I know everybody was really high on this match. I'm high on this match as well. Okay. But Pride and Powerful losing to the Best Friends in this tag that I thought was very Zona 21-ish.
I love that match.
I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot, but. Come on, guys. What are we doing with Pride and Powerful?
It makes sense just off of the pure fact that you don't want to do Santana and Ortiz against another heel group. My best guess is that they're going to do the Best Friends in the Revival next, and then that'll hold over for the Bucks thing for their next big event. That's where I think it's natural. Going, and then LAX can just go do whatever they do, which is, I guess, is get involved in Inner Circle matches and not get anything.
Yeah, I know Chris Jericho is the demigod, but could it easily swap them out? Like, I know everybody really liked the match, and if being booked like this, that match would not happen. But Pride and Powerful could have faced Private Party. They are a face team, and Pride and Powerful desperately need a win. It really bothers me that they're not a factor in this tag team division.
Yeah, they're just there as bodies, and I think that's the weird thing. Originally, when AEW was first coming together, my vision for the product, as far as the tag division was concerned, was okay. We're going to do the Lucha Brothers. We're going to do Santana and Ortiz. And I guess we could put the Bucks in since it's their company. Mm-hmm. That was my big vision. And now we've got, Jack Swagger and Chris Jericho. We got the Revival, which, I mean, some people like them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the Best Friends.
I like Dustin. Not a big fan of Trent. I just never was. I just can't get into it. But, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the Best Friends. And I think the final tag match on the show, unless I'm forgetting one, Jungle Express versus
Yeah, that was
FTR. Like I say, it's been like I say it's been like 2 weeks in a row now. Jungle Express are just bodies. That's all they are.
right.
They try to make us believe that Jungle Boy is the next big thing. It's not too late for them to pull the trigger on that, honestly. Like, I think they can really heat him up in the future, but as of right now, it ain't doing shit for me, partner. Stop putting the Jungle Express on my screen. Stop it.
Yeah, I with Jungle Boy and the Dinosaur Man, I wasn't huge on them from the dump. I was like, okay, there's this giant dinosaur guy from the get go. I was like, okay, that's cute. And then he started leaning into the fact that he's like a real dinosaur. I was like, all right, let's relax.
It's not a wrestler in a dinosaur mask. It is a dinosaur that is wrestling, and I think that is the dumb route to take, or just a weird route to take with that gimmick. But it works for the Jungle Express thing, I guess.
I think there's a big difference between, let's take a wrestler like Drago in AAA, formerly Lucha Underground. Like, I think the only time he did like dragon shit was in Lucha Underground, and that's because their whole big thing was like, all right, we're gonna do ridiculous nonsense, but it's gonna look good. With AEW, it's like they're trying to hone in on the sports entertainment side that WWE is known for.
That they say that they wouldn't
mingle into indie stuff, and that just, which is just not true. Like, if you want to compete, you can't just be like, all right, we're basically an indie promotion. We're gonna make this indie promotion, just as good as the main roster stuff. That's just not possible. You can't have both sides. You can definitely mix it a little bit, but they're trying to be like, oh, we're just like GCW. We're gonna put the Dinosaur Man over and his two children. Like, you can't have it both ways, and they can't sit there and pretend like they're not trying to dip their toes in the sports entertainment stuff.
Yeah, they can act like it. Real people know the truth. The fake ones will act like, no, it's completely different. But you just got to call a spade at sometimes. Like, and it's okay. You don't have I'm not gonna judge you. Like, I'm not mad at it, but the fact that you say you aren't doing it makes me mad at it.
That's the thing. Like, either you're gonna do it or you're not, and at least just be real about it, regardless. Like, if you're gonna do one thing, just stick to the one thing. And even if I don't like it, at least you're sticking with it.
Yeah.
Where, on the other hand, like, you're trying to half step on like what you're trying to do with like, okay, we're gonna lean towards the indie fan. It's all about the wrestling, but we're also gonna do the BS chicanery that is involved in in some of the bad WWE stuff.
And it's for hardcore fans, but sometimes you want to make new fans, so you have to appeal to the casuals, and that's, I guess, it's working. Actually, no, it's not working, because AEW is like at a stagnant, like the same amount of viewers that they normally get.
They've hit their peak.
And they reached their peak.
They've reached their peak, and unless they get somebody that's like a legit draw and not somebody like Jon Moxley, who is like a draw but to an extent, and Chris Jericho, who's also like, there's a familiarity there for old wrestling fans, but like they've got to get somebody like legit to carry them, because you can't, like, Cody Rhodes isn't that guy. Kenny Omega, even though he's good in parts, like, he's not going to be that guy either.
Yeah, but speaking of getting somebody that is a draw, I think they possibly got one, but instead they had him in this weird talking segment instead of just putting him in a wrestling match this week. We have Morrow doing I guess shit. I don't work out. He lifting weights.
Yeah, I mean, he pumping iron or whatever, and saying what's up to his cute little friends. It's just like, I guess it's fine, but if you're gonna go from one wedding thing to the next. At least the other wedding thing was like kind of like ridiculous in its drama. This one's just kind of bland. Like I'm personally a fan of that big whole wedding angle just because it reminds me a lot of the stupid soap opera theatrics that the Fed is really good at.
People act like they hate it, but they watched every week to see how more ridiculous that it was gonna get. Like it is what it is. But like
yeah, it's like people were shit watching. People were shit watching, and that's fine. Like there's a time and a place for that kind of
and
thing.
wrestling is absolutely
like, oh, this is so bad.
Wrestling is the absolute.
Wrestling has always been
a shit watch.
It's always been like okay, let's see what kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Next time, like literally the foundation of the Attitude Era was a whole bunch of soap opera bullshit between the guy who hates the company and the big boss man. Like that's basically the whole soap opera that was the Attitude Era, mixed in with your little side characters. That's basically what it was at its core. And now people are acting like it's too good because I'm not getting my 5-star matches with Kenny Omega. Like whatever, man. Like it. If I wanted to watch pure wrestling, I would tune into what Japan has going on, and I would tune into like a AAA.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't go to AEW for pure wrestling shit. I would go watch Stardom. I would go watch All Japan, Noah, New Japan to an extent, even though they put on like 86 tag matches on their card.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some New Japan content coming out soon on the channel, but I agree with that as well. And I think this week was I guess it was cool to have Morrow around, but I think it would have been better to have him wrestle because being, he says he's going to prove them wrong. He did the brass ring promo, very free flowing and stuff like that. According to an interview that I read, he was just like, "They let me go out there and just say something involving the brass ring, like just send a little shot at the WWE, just sprinkle something in there." But he's gonna have to do more than just talking. Like I want to see it in ring. Like I want to see that you still have it.
He's got to. Yeah, I think it would have been real cool if they signed Aiden English to be his So like I guess it would be ripping the WWE thing again. But like I don't have him wrestle, but like I liked the little their little dynamic with the Rusev Day thing. I was a big fan of it, and that was the only thing he was good at. You have him do his little entrance thing, you have him be his manager, and then that be it.
Hey man, that's a no for me, dog.
I'm not asking for you to. I'm not asking for you to bring back Simon Gotch or anything.
I don't like nah. Hey man, Aiden English show up on my AEW television, bruh. There's gonna be hell to pay. I'm stepping in.
Oh no.
I'm driving to Jacksonville. I'm entering the AEW group chat. I'm talking to somebody. I'm speaking to the damn manager.
You gotta talk. I wonder what would be going through their heads, like if they had him run.
Lord,
that would be hard time.
AEW Darkbound. If they signed Simon Grimm, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think he's improved a lot as a wrestler since going back to the Indies and doing GCW stuff. But Aiden English,
I haven't watched enough MLW to like really grade it.
Like he kept going and he's doing fairly well out there. He got his ass knocked out at Bloodsport, so yeah. I think it's going well for him. To wrap up AEW, we're going to talk about Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts forming a tag team or like forming an alliance with the FTW guys. I don't know why you would, but it led into a very, very amazing introduction into Will Hobbs.
They're gonna have the. Yeah, I guess that's the big thing, but you can see like the whole gimmick. It's everybody will implode on the FTW Lance Archer side, and then John Moxley will get the pin on probably Ricky Starks to keep everybody else.
Yeah,
on.
Definitely. Actually, I think
see the. I mean, it's fine.
if they play it smart, I think Will Hobbs should take the get the victory instead of Moxley. I think that would work really well, probably against like Brian Cage or Ricky Starks. It doesn't matter.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be cool just because I'm cool with Will Hobbs. I think they put him over quite a bit whenever he showed up. I was like, wait, hold up, they might be doing something with Will Hobbs here. That was my only takeaway. I was like, okay, they're gonna make him in a meaningless. I am going to let out the biggest sigh I have ever released in terms of like he looked legit when I saw him taking out Cage, who was built up like a big even though he has a nothing title.
the title that means
is kind of in the middle of the deal.
The title that means nothing. Like
nothing. Like I don't. What was the point? Because he's not really defending it. He's just like a champion.
He like defends it on Dark every now and then.
Goes well with his steroid muscles.
Like he wrestles. He defends it on Dark, and I'm just like I don't care.
I think the big thing is that you try and get people to watch Dark, and the belt. I guess in his head it's like, oh, okay, this will look good with my steroid filled muscles or whatever.
Hey man,
like I'm good. I don't know what the end goal. They just have a whole bunch of guys.
I don't know what it is either. I don't see Lance Archer winning the title, but John Moxley or whatever AEW plans on doing with Will Hobbs, I think they're doing very well so far. This is one of the few debuts I think that they got it really well.
Yeah, I think it was dope. I think I'm at this point I'm kind of over the John Moxley reign, but you can't really take the belt off of him either because you can't really have him.
Oh, John Moxley, yeah, but he's the big draw.
I'm
so
kind of over but I've never been like a John Moxley / Dean Ambrose guys from the jump.
Yeah, it honestly, it is what it is for Moxley, but like right now, I got all eyes on Will Hobbs. And that's it for AEW this week. Both these two shows this week, man, I'm trying to get a PS5, bro. Wasn't really too invested in any of these episodes, honestly.
If I get the PS5, y'all probably won't see me on the timeline no more. I might just quit writing and become a Twitch streamer full time.
It might be possible. That wraps it up for us as well on the War Report. We have a new episode of The Writer's Room. What if John Cena turned heel with Armand and gang? We have a new episode of The A Show that I have to listen to because there's a big promo on Yeezys on there. And any Yeezy slander, turn that up. I need that. So I'm probably I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeezy slander. To be fair, I always thought that she was just kind of dusty.
I have my thoughts. I've seen him way too much recently. And I'm just like, yeah, these shit suck. But we have really big episodes of the Black Variant and the Big Eyes podcast this week. They have two huge guests, RSPN, playoffs talk. I'm all for it. We have Play for Keeps. They're going to do some playoffs talk as well. And yeah, that's about it. We will have two Spot Callers episodes coming soon. We're going to have TNA Victory Road 2001. God, I hate you guys for making me watch it. The show is absolutely terrible. And we have some Stardom stuff coming as well with me and my friend Alora. We should be catching up a lot on the Cinderella. It's the 5-star Grand Prix tournament. And that's it for us from me and Caleb. Any final words?
This is fun. I get to talk trash about wrestling sometimes.
I'd say it's a lot more enjoyable when you talk about it with another person.
I can't imagine doing this solo.
It's awful. I did it a couple weeks ago. Jesus Christ. Not that
That's
great.
That's got to be so awkward. Like you just talking into the nothing for an hour. Oh yeah. Man.
I write the show notes, or just my notes on the show, and I'm just like, wow, this isn't fun. Like just when you don't writing negative thoughts doesn't really sit well with my my soft heart, but we'll be back next week. Thank you for listening.